y'all, it is Hope at Crafty Hope, and I'm working in my art journal. This one is one of my junk journals. I made this one from the Robin Murray Smith Transitions Journal Workshop. I'll put a link to that. It's a free workshop she did, and it was a real fun journal to make. So, as most of my videos lately have been, this is part of my 100-day project, and for this day I was going to use some of my homemade alcohol inks. So there I sprayed one of them, which was I think my black one, and then put some plain alcohol on it to see if it would pick it up. But all I do to make these alcohol sprays is I take, I think those bottles I found at the Dollar Tree, that's 6 ounces of 50% alcohol. And then I took markers, just some were washable, some were permanent. And I took the markers apart, and inside the markers are the little felt tubes that hold the color. And I just dropped those into um, the spray bottles. So I did one spray bottle for each color. I did, I think I've got an indigo and a blue. So if there was a dark blue and a light blue, I did that. Blacks, browns, whatever. And I used 2 or 3 of those felt tubes in each one of those spray bottles. And that's really it. I let them soak for a while before I went back to them, a couple days before I actually tried to use them. So, that's what I'm going to use in this page. You see, I sprayed down a little bit of that black, and it was more of an experiment to see if it would pick up, if regular plain alcohol would pick up any of the ink, and it didn't. So I went ahead and I put down some white gesso. That was just some Liquitex Basics white gesso that I spread with like a silicone spatula thing, and I dried it, and now I'm collaging down some different papers. Now what's fun about these alcohol ink sprays is that they all different papers react to it differently. Some of it soaks it up, some of it rejects it. It's really interesting. So I've got several different papers I'm putting down here, which is my Uhu glue stick. And the paper that is in the background, I think, is just a piece of copy paper that I coffee dyed, maybe tea dyed. I'm not sure. I had some tea or some coffee that I wanted some. I think it may be tea dyed because I think I wanted some tea bags, and so I just threw some tea bags in a thing with water, and then I think I just threw in a couple pages of copy paper in there to go ahead and dye them. So anyway, I am collaging this down. Like I said, I like the way that different papers react to the alcohol inks differently, so I'm putting down just a variety of different kinds of paper to give a lot of contrast and texture to the background of this. Yeah, that's it. Once that was all dry, I grabbed this black spray and I sprayed it down. And then I've got my indigo, which is my dark blue, and I sprayed it. And it's kind of dark. It's almost, you don't notice it's blue. And then this is green, which turns out when it dries to be kind of a pretty kind of teal blue green. So that kind of worked out awesome. And I dried that real quick and grabbed, that's a white spray. It's intended, oh, I'm not going to use that yet. First, I've got this, I think it's the Dr. P.H. Martin's. I could be mistaken. I will put a link to it below, or at least tell you what it is. But it's a copper acrylic ink. And I'm just going to put a couple drops of it. It had been on clearance, and it's a little chunky, and that's probably why it was on clearance. But it turns out beautifully on this page. I think I really like copper and green together, and so I think that's why I went for the copper, is because I tend to like a copper and greeny, and the metallic on this page in the end worked out beautifully. So I sprayed it with just a little bit of water, and I'm going to pull out some of that copper a little bit in some different areas, not a whole lot, and then I'm just going to go ahead and dry it. Now I'll tell you about what's going to be next is this white spray. It is a tulip fabric spray. Um, it comes out a little chunky. It's, yeah, ooh, yeah. So I'm gonna take a paper towel there and just kind of dab it around. It gives a little nice texture in there without having to pull out some gesso, but it is super thick, like kind of like a gesso would be, but I don't know, it's different. Now I wasn't sure what my focal was gonna be for this. I had some sketchy faces I had done, and I thought about using those, but then I had those are rub-ons from the Dollar Tree. Yeah, I paid $1 for those. I have not been liking or having much luck with rub-ons lately, but these were $1 at the Dollar Tree. I hadn't seen these from them before, so I thought I'd go ahead and grab them. And yeah, it works amazing. I'm really impressed. So I'm happy I picked those up for my $1. I did cut out the shape, the butterfly shape that I wanted, but before I put it down, I decided to go ahead and add some work making. I'm using it's a Uniball Air pen. Sorry for my head in the picture. I apologize. My camera angle was a little weird that day for some reason. But I just added some little X marks. And the thing about this Uniball Air is kind of like the alcohol inks. It reacts differently on different types of paper. And on some papers, and if you don't give it time to dry, it will get kind of bleedy and watery, but other pages soak it in before it can do that. So I added just a little bit of water to it to see to let some of the bits bleed if it wanted to bleed. Yeah, that was it. And then I grab my bone folder and I peel off the back of the, like, I don't know, the paper on that rub-on, and then I'm just using my bone folder to burnish this butterfly down. I think I'd used one little thing to test these rub-ons and it had done pretty well, so I knew they would work, but I wasn't confident. So I burnished that as well as I could, and then I pulled it up, and y'all look, that's one of the best rub-ons I've ever gotten. So I was super excited about that. And then I've got like a super fine tip, like cheapo drawing pen. This is one of those from Five Below that I got in a pack. The tip on this keeps bending on me. Um, but I did just like a sketchy frame around the outside of the butterfly. You'll probably see some of it in the close-up shots. And then I took that black alcohol ink and I'm just kind of putting a little bit on the outside to frame it as well. And I think that's going to be it for this page. I'm trying to remember if I do anything else. There's not a whole lot more to do to it. Um, oh, I still need a phrase, don't I? Oh, before I do that, I grab my Uniball Signo white gel pen and I add a couple little touches on the butterfly. I felt like it was too dark, so I just add a couple little dots on it. And then I pull out my large print journal page and find the words "he was freed," and I thought that was kind of perfect for a butterfly because first they're freed from that cocoon and then they get to fly around so freely and in the breeze. So that's it for this page. I'm going to stick it down with my Oohoo glue stick and finish it up. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about how I make those alcohol inks or any of my other processes, just let me know. And give me a thumbs up if you like this and make sure to subscribe. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Keep on crafting on. Bye.